Millions of people were horrified when they watched Charlie Kirk assassinated live on camera, and now his accused killer is fighting to keep those cameras out of his own murder trial. Tyler Robinson and his defense team were back in a Utah court today, renewing their push for Judge Tony Graff to ban cameras in the court. Their argument? Biased news coverage is tainting the jury pool. The defense brought in an expert witness to boost its case. Brian Edelman is the same trial consultant who testified for the defense at Brian Kohberger's case. Well, today, Edelman testified that cameras put unnecessary pressure on the case and led to biased coverage.
I think it creates pressure on everybody to have cameras in here, from the jury to everyone involved. I think this is a very high-profile case, probably one of the more high-profile ones I've ever been involved in. I think there's pressure on the prosecutor, the jury, everybody involved in this case. There are a lot of people watching, including the executive branch. Everybody's involved. So I think just those comments and everything else is just pressure to me.
Judge Graff is expected to make a decision on May 8th, so the rights of the accused are being addressed. But what about the rights of the victims? Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk, has said she wants to allow cameras in the court to stop the rampant misinformation and conspiracy theories surrounding her husband's death. And that would be nice, because those conspiracy theories have been spreading like mold in a flooded basement. A newly unsealed ballistics report didn't help. That report found that investigators could not conclusively match a bullet fragment to the suspected murder weapon. Now, that's actually relatively common, and a shell casing was matched to the murder weapon. But conspiracy theorists haven't let contradictory information spoil their fun. So, will the judge allow cameras in the courtroom, and what does it all mean for the case against Tyler Robinson? Joining us now is Clayton Simms, a Utah criminal defense attorney. Clayton, great to have you back. So what do you make of this argument that it feels like he's saying cameras in the court lead to biased media coverage, but at the same time he's saying, I'm not really clear why he's making that argument. Cameras in the court are basically, there is no bias. It's just clean, pure information. You're watching what happened.
Right. It's literally what is happening in the courtroom.
Without interpretation.
Right. Without comment. Really what's sort of taking off and starting the wildfires of conspiracy are things outside of the courtroom. There is some documents relating to the bullet fragment, the ATF inconclusive report, which adds fuel to the fire. But these are things that are, the confusion is happening outside of the courtroom. So the cameras in the courtroom shed light on what's happening, shed light on the prosecutor's arguments, the defense arguments. So I don't think that's contributing to the conspiracies.
This witness was arguing that the cameras will make an already poisoned jury pool even worse. Prosecutors argue the opposite, that what you're arguing, and what I think I'm agreeing with, is that the spread of misinformation is actually enhanced by the secrecy of a closed court.
Right. So you have to ask yourself, what if we hadn't had cameras in the courtroom during the last few months? What would the conspiracy theories be? It would probably be worse. So Utah law encourages exposure, encourages information. So the judge is likely to follow Utah law that allows cameras in the courtroom and allows recordings and the public to hear what happens.
Yeah, there was a time, I think, when perhaps early on we saw cameras poison the proceedings in essence. I'm thinking, for example, of the O.J. Simpson trial, where not just the defense attorneys and the prosecutors, but the judge himself were later deemed to be sort of mugging or performing for cameras instead of actually focusing on just doing their job. But we're many decades past that now. Cameras in the court happen everywhere, all the time, and it doesn't poison the proceedings one iota.
Right, absolutely. The O.J. case, cameras in the courtroom was fresh. Cameras in the courtroom, everybody has a camera. They're on their phone, they videotape their lives. So it's not going to be a performance. There's going to be a performance whether the cameras are there or not.
Yeah.
The prosecutor is going to perform, the defense is going to perform whether there's cameras or not. And so it's really a non-factor.
When does the judge make a decision?
He's going to schedule a time for him to read his ruling, so he's going to be deliberative. He's going to think about his decision. And again, it may seem like it's slow. A death penalty case takes time, and the defense's job is to put roadblocks up to slow down the process.
Okay. Slow, important, but as you point out, it's a death penalty case, so it is important to let the process play out too, because there are appeals that you have to keep in mind. All right, Brian Clayton, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.